Hi, this is Dave. If you are a Christian business person, one of the things that you're interested in and committed to is multiplying your influence so that you have a greater impact on the kingdom. So how do you do that? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. As a college student, I supported myself by working in a relatively expensive men's clothing store. It was a small local chain with 5 stores around town, 1 big headquarters store downtown, and then 4 suburban stores in shopping centers. One of our premium clothing lines was named after the designer. Some of you will remember Ole Cassini. And so we carried Ole Cassini's line of suits and sport coats and so on. And he came to our city to promote his line, and the company's executives held an evening reception for him. Now, I was 19 at the time, but I was one of the very few employees from the suburban stores who were invited. Why was that? Well, even though I was young and relatively inexperienced, I was the number one salesperson among the 4 suburban stores. And the company wanted to recognize that excellence by including me in the reception. It was excellence in my work that led to the reception invitation and the consequent recognition and influence. That was my first exposure to a powerful rule of human behavior by which Christian people can create a disproportionate impact for the kingdom. And that's this: excellence in your work inevitably leads to greater influence, and that influence can create a significant impact for the kingdom. Let me repeat that, because that's the heart of the message here. Excellence in your work inevitably leads to greater influence, and that influence can create a significant impact for the kingdom. Since my early days, my 19-year-old experience, since then I've seen the connection between excellence and influence manifest in multiple situations in people and industries. For example, in athletic contests, it's the outstanding player who is interviewed after the end of the game. You may have noticed, for example, that Patrick Mahomes, to name just one, often gives credit to God in post-game interviews. See, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Excellence in your work translating to greater influence for the kingdom. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes is a great example, but there are others. In the world of professional sports, it seems like half the people are believers. In company meetings, it's the star salesperson who's often asked to opine on the new product line or lead the discussion on strategy or tactics. In my work, I often interview some selected representatives of the sales force for a client company. The people that management selects to talk to the consultant are invariably the best. Those who are struggling with mediocrity really are not considered. In industry association, it's the leading companies who are asked to be on the committees and chair the task forces. There's something in human nature that attributes greater leadership character, greater insight, and more reasoned intelligence to those who excel on the job. We just naturally think that those who excel on the job are inherently more substantial people than the average. And it may have to do with the recognition that those who excel may start with a greater dose of talent than the rest of the pack. More likely, it arises from the understanding that to excel at something, anything, is not just a matter of a beginning allotment of talent, but more likely is the result of years of hard work and dedication and discipline and coaching from a village of concerned mentors along the way. Excellence isn't easy, and it's often the result of the development of character traits that serve the excellent performer well in other applications. As I write this, we're in the middle of another cycle of the American Idol TV show. And it seems that this year there's a greater emphasis on the backstories of the contestants. And while everybody's story is unique, there are some trends. Those who are rising to the top have demonstrated years of striving for excellence, lots of hard work and dedication, and a support system that has nourished and encouraged them along the way. Through these disciplines, they have become good people as well as able performers. It may be that we all intuitively understand that. That may be why we hold up the excellent in any endeavor. We hold up the excellent ones for recognition and greater influence. Regardless, the connection between excellence and influence is a principle that Christians can count on. Jesus said, "We are lights bringing illumination to dark places." How much more can our light shine if we have achieved a greater degree of excellence in what we do? In the parable of the talents, it was the servants who did well with their responsibilities who were rewarded with greater responsibilities and a closer relationship with the master. That's a great example for us. Do well with what you have, seek for excellence, and be rewarded with greater responsibilities and a closer relationship with the master. Striving for excellence, then, for a Christian in the marketplace should be a basic, fundamental expectation. It should undergird everything we experience on the job. And, from my anecdotal experience, just the decision to strive for excellence, just to make that decision, I'm going to try to be excellent, that alone will set us apart from the mass of our colleagues. Again, it's been my experience. I've been at this for 30 years. It's been my experience that most people don't want to excel, and it's because they recognize that it requires greater dedication and a sharper focus and greater emotional intensity and a larger effort than they are willing to invest. It's work, but. So just the decision, just make the decision, that decision, I am going to excel, that decision will set you apart from the masses. But it's not enough to strive for excellence. We also should pinpoint the second half of the equation, and that's influence. Remember, excellence equals influence. That means that we recognize that opportunities to influence will come our way. And as a matter of course, be prepared to say yes to them. Task forces, committees, volunteer requests of all kinds, these represent opportunities to shine our light into a larger darkness. We should embrace them, not shirk from them. Even more, we should proactively seek for opportunities to take on influential roles. We should be joining the local chambers of commerce and, the local networking groups. We should be joining the national associations and the small groups of peers who meet together once a month and share information. Looking around us, we should study the landscape and identify opportunities to be influential. And that means opportunities where our excellence opens doors for us. Well, people will attribute to us greater character because we're excellent at what we do. And once we begin to open our eyes and sharpen our antennas, tweak our antennas for opportunities, you'll find them all over the place. And not only should we respond to those opportunities that come our way, but we should proactively seek them out. And once we do that, we will discover opportunities all around us. Once we decide to look for them. So, the connection between excellence and influence can be an organizing principle for our workplace efforts. That equation, excellence equals influence, that can provide a powerful sense of fulfillment and purpose to our marketplace efforts. Remember, excellence equals influence. We ought to pursue both. Okay, hey, you may be interested, by the way, in our online community. So I run an online community called the XI Community. Interestingly enough, XI stands for Excellence and Influence. And it's an online community dedicated to helping the members achieve excellence and influence in the marketplace. So I'll put the show notes. I'll put a link in the show notes. Okay, that's it. We're done. Bye-bye.